how can I change my mind? And how can I stop the fight? And how can I learn to trust the process of my life? Can I understand for a moment we shine bright? Then we're out of sight. Then we move on. Then we move on. Father, brother, lover, and son, I'm not gonna live forever. It's time I put my heart together, 'cause I'm not the only one. As fathers, brothers, lovers, and sons, we're not gonna live forever. It's time we put our hearts together, 'cause we're not the only ones. Why do we believe in lies when time is passing by? And why do we make a noise when there's ones without a voice? Can we understand for a moment we shine bright? Then we're out of sight. Then we move on. Then we move on. Ooh. Fathers, brothers, lovers, and sons, we're not gonna live forever. It's time we put our hearts together, 'cause we're not the only ones. As fathers, brothers, lovers, and sons, we're not gonna live forever. It's time we put our hearts together, 'cause we're not the only, not the only, not the only ones. Ooh. This is Myles McCusker. You're listening to BlindSpots, episode 6, an episode I'm calling Fatherhood.
Do you have any ideas of how we could change back into the old family? I mean, taking your medication again is going to be an easy peasy lemon squeezy one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slice of cake.
Well, that's day
I
after
have
tomorrow.
a joke for you, Mike.
And I'm looking forward
Why
to
did the kid
Wait,
eat
you
his
have a joke?
homework?
Tell me again.
Why did the kid eat his homework?
Why did the kid eat his homework?
You know?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Because his teacher said it was a piece of cake.
And he believed the teacher literally and thought it was an actual piece of cake. What were you saying about the t-shirt thing earlier?
Life is good instead, like life is hard. They should say life is hard instead of life is good.
Why do you say that?
Because life is hard. I mean, you're happy that you're living. You're happy that you're actually a person who can move around and touch and feel and touch and feel and touch and feel and touch and feel and
Did you forget what you were saying?
and see and smell and see and like, yeah.
What's hard though, man?
What's hard about? Like, I thought this is what we were talking about.
We are. I'm asking you for a reason.
What is life hard?
For you.
Forget
What makes you say that? Myles McCusker. What does Myles McCusker think about life? And the thing that comes to mind is life is hard. What's your story?
Why don't you use your brains and then ask me?
No, I kind of know, Myles. I just want you to put it into words. Sometimes it's helpful to put things into words.
Even if it's really tough?
Yeah. Sometimes it's better because if you can work through the toughness to put into words, sometimes it actually ends up helping more than you think.
I don't know. Wait, why is life hard?
Why is life?
No.
Because
It's just
they're not
hard.
enough fun.
Like, they're not fun.
Too many things that.
Like I said, like too many things. I have to be flexible about.
Yeah, living with Max and with me
And with
and
Meg.
with the daycare.
And like I said,
Your
like Meg
houses.
always stands up to Max for like when I'm around her and you're gone. I'm like, okay, I just remember, don't really talk to Meg when something bad about Max happens because I know she's just gonna say, Myles, they blah 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 blah.
Because she's got.
blah.
She's not gonna really listen and take the time to sort it out because she's too busy. She can't. She just needs you to be patient or flexible or whatever because she knows that you can do it. She knows Max can't do it. But that's not fair to you. Oh, I know, that's not fair to you. I'm just saying for her, she's just too busy. She can't take the time.
Myles can do this on his own. Well, but Myles, just let Max have a turn because I'm like, Meg, you have one kid for the daycare right now. And anyways, is like someone going to kill you just to walk up and shout and talk to Max?
Max might. Yeah, like, Max, I need to. Rah! Max is hard to deal with sometimes, man. You know that. You share a room with the guy. But that can't be all of it, man, because that's not enough for you to think that life is hard. That's a big statement. That might be enough to say being around Max is hard. But why do you say life is hard?
No, the family, really anything.
I happen to agree with you, by the way. I think life for me is pretty hard, too. But I think if we leave it at life is hard, that's too big, and that can make us feel like it can't get better. If we talk more about why we think that and what makes us say that, we get more ideas about the things that we can try to change. You asked earlier about how we can change our family to be more like the old family. You said our family had changed, and you want to change back to the old family. And if we don't figure out what that exactly means in detail, how can we do it?
Well, it doesn't. Well, like nothing is perfect.
Of course not. Nothing is perfect.
To like what I think of as the old family.
So what do you think of as the old family that's different now?
I don't know.
Is it more just a feeling that you had at the time? Like you felt like things were better?
No. Things feel different.
Yeah. Some of that might be you, Myles. You're getting older, and your brain is developing, and you're learning, and you're growing as a person, and you're getting smarter. So maybe you're feeling some new things that you weren't feeling before. Maybe you're feeling some more painful things that you weren't feeling before. That could be part of it, you know? Because you're a deep guy, man. You must know that about yourself by now.
You already told me.
No, but not because I told you, but because you feel things in a certain way. You're a deep guy, man. I don't see a lot of other 7-year-olds thinking about things the way you do or feeling things as deeply as you do.
What do you mean?
I mean, like most 7-year-olds are not. Their concern, their main problems are much more what I would consider to be not really that big of a deal. The things that they're
Like
concerned
what?
about. Oh, I don't know, just.
Money?
I don't think a lot of 7-year-olds are worried about money or thinking about life and the sort of the larger scope of life and whether it's hard or whether it's good or whether it's more complicated than a t-shirt could express. I think that their concerns are much more immediate. It's just like, I want this thing or I don't want this thing or my sister's bugging me or I want to go get ice cream. It's much more like that sort of stuff. Or I want to play a new game, or I'm bored, or I want to go see that movie. or I want to watch TV, or I don't want to do my homework, or I want to play a game. It's just that sort of moment-to-moment stuff. It's not these larger, deeper, it's not this deep well of feeling that you're experiencing. They're not sitting, in a chair in their dad's studio in pain, crying and saying that life is hard.
Well, their dad probably doesn't even have a studio. Like, let's be honest
That's a good
here.
point. Maybe with just like their dad's room or their parents' bedroom or something. They're not feeling things, or they're not expressing things the way that you are. So some of that, I think, is you, man. You're starting to tap into some stronger feelings. And some of them are really painful. But they're all good, trust me. Even though they feel...
The painful ones?
Even the painful ones, yeah.
How is that good?
It would be very difficult for me to explain that simply enough and in a short enough time. I can try, but let me just say that even if I don't do a good job explaining it right now, that's just because I'm not doing a good job explaining it. All the feelings are good, ultimately. Even the painful ones. In some cases, especially the painful ones. Now, why?
How? Why?
How? Why? Good question.
Do you even know how? Why?
No, I do. I really do. My problem is not knowing things, it's being able to put them into words that make sense. Explaining them. And a lot of that has to do with the medication or my ADHD. A lot of times I can't keep my mind focused on what I'm trying to say long enough to say it. It gets scattered. But I do know. That's a very frustrating experience for me, to know things but not be able to say them the way I want to. But let me try. You learn more from the painful experiences in life and the painful feelings. You become a stronger person, and you become a person who is better able to handle more things in life. And the more you're able to handle and the stronger you are, the more that will allow you to be able to do more interesting things, and will allow you to experience life more richly, more deeply. Like you said earlier, you said life is hard, but I mean, you're happy you're alive because you get to be alive and you get to touch stuff and you get to feel things and be a person. That's the good part of life, right?
Yeah.
The more you're able to touch things and be a person, be alive, and see things and feel things, the better that part of life gets. But that part only gets better through the experiences that we have. And sometimes the more painful experiences allow us to grow and be better in that other area, more than the happy experiences.
I kind of understand.
Good, because I'm not sure if I said that the best way I could have, but I think I said it okay. I feel and have felt my whole life a lot of strong, painful emotions, just like you are, Myles. And so has Meg, by the way. They are not fun, and they don't get more fun as you get older. But I have learned that I grow from them, and that my life is better because of them. I've made friends with them. They're still painful, but they're less painful, or they're painful in a different way because I've made friends with them. And they tell us something.
Sometimes how Max is painful even though I'm his brother.
Also, they tell us something. If something is making you very sad, or if something is making you feel strongly a certain way, you should listen to that, because it's sort of like a sign on the highway that tells you what exit to get off of, or where the next rest stop is. I was feeling very sad and depressed and angry and frustrated when I was in school this past spring. And that was telling me something, that I shouldn't be in school anymore. It's not working out. It's not for me. It's not making me happy. So I had to cut it. I had to cut ties with it and move on to something else. I'm much happier with what I'm doing now. But if I hadn't felt those strong emotions when I was in school and listened to them, I might have just stayed in school and done more things that weren't making me happy. In your case, it's a little trickier though, because if things aren't making you happy, there's not as much room to change, right? Because this is the family you have.
We don't have a programming school near here, do we?
A programming school, like computer programming?
Yeah.
Do you know, Myles, what Brian Allstat does for his job?
What?
He is a computer programmer. If you are interested in computer programming, you should talk to, and I can put you in touch with, Brian Allstat.
Well,
And he's a cool guy.
I don't want to go to like that school, to like a school for that, because the law
He probably knows where we could look.
The law clearly states that you have to go to school, and I mean, Hatherley School, sure, it's a good school, it's fun, but it's teaching me stuff that I pretty much already know, which is basically the fun part about it.
I don't know where we would look to find programming schools, but you know who would?
Brian Allstat.
He would probably be able to help us find, point us in the direction if you wanted to look into doing something like that. And I'm open to helping you do that, Myles. Do you think that's something that you want to try to...
Yeah.
You're computer programming, huh?
Yeah.
How come?
Well, ever since I got Minecraft, I want to make a game like it, or join Mojang and add in a couple updates that I see fit. What? I mean, Minecraft isn't perfect yet. There's still a couple.
Nothing's perfect. Come on, man. You said the same thing to me a minute ago.
Well, you don't have to mimic me.
I wasn't mimicking. Oh, yeah, I was, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I didn't have to mimic you. I could have said it in my own voice. Nothing's perfect. I love you, man. I'm sorry that you're having a tough time, but in a way I'm not. In a way I'm happy for you. Because I know that the harder things are the ones that teach us more and make us stronger and better people.
Poop. You're supposed to try and change the family when, we're keeping these dogs private. I mean, we can't just walk up and tell them, guys, we're changing the family!
Hey, guess what, everyone? We're changing the family!
I mean, Max won't change it at all. I mean, Max will, refuse to change. He'll be like, well, Myles, how are we changing the family? I'm like, Max,
Poop. Max. What was the beat I was doing in the parking lot? You're like, Mike, every time you do that I have to stop and dance in the middle of the parking lot, and I almost got hit by a car.
No, I probably said, how would you like it?
I thought you liked my beat. Let's head in, man. Go for it.
Go.
This episode of BlindSpots is dedicated to Max and Myles McCusker. Getting to be your dad is the coolest thing I get to do. I love you guys very much. Thanks for listening. Happy Father's Day. What'd you say, Myles? What'd you say, Myles? I can hear you now. Sing up to 1, 2, 3, just do it. Do. Ah, hit it. This is that ice cold Michelle.
Too hot, hot damn. They're going to the fireman. Too hot, hot damn. We can drag you on anytime, man. Too hot, hot damn. Sit on in the hole and you're hot, hot damn. Now big about that moving down. Girls and Charuya, ooh, girls and Charuya, ooh, girls and Charuya, ooh. He's up down, phone, go give it to ya. He's up down, phone, go give it to ya. He's up down, phone, go give it to ya. Somebody in the spot, don't leave me just watch. Come on.
Boom, 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 boom,
Shot.
boom,
Don't wait, that's much.
boom, 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 boom.
Don't wait, just watch. Don't wait, just watch. Don't wait, just watch. Hey, 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 oh, stop. Wait a minute. Food walk up, what are you looking at? Jameson soundtrack. Julio, get this done. Autopilot, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. We show up, we're gonna show up. Food is just philosophy. Too hot, hot damn. And can we get hot? Too hot, hot damn. We can try to board me time and too hot, hot damn. Say my name, no who I am. Too hot, hot damn. No bad vibes, not one
Bring
big
it
down. Girls say hallelujah, ooh. Girls say hallelujah, ooh. Girls say hallelujah, ooh. 'Cause I'm down, phone, go give it to ya. 'Cause I'm down, phone, go give it to ya. 'Cause I'm down, phone, go give it to ya. Saturday night we'll be in the spot. Don't wait, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, I want to tell you a little something. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up.